It is Durbanville tomorrow, and that means Rouvaun joins me. Welcome to Rouvaun, and he's not heading off to Durbanville tomorrow, but he's happy to have a look at the card, and it looks fairly straightforward. Rouvaun, welcome.
Thanks, Neil. It does look straightforward, with the exception of that fillies and mares handicap, which is the penultimate race on the card. I thought it looked a little bit more trickier than the standout horse in that race, but by and large, I think the Smits are going to have a very, very good day tomorrow.
Well, what I'll do as we go along is I will point out the scratchings. There are a couple already, but just to remind folks that Rouvaun and I are doing this on Tuesday night, so there might be additional changes. But in the first race, number 7, Persistence, has got tongue tie fitted, and number 1, Bramall Phoenix, is a scratching. So the first race of the day is only the first leg of the bipot, of course, and Rouvaun, it's tough because we'll have a look at them on the way down to the start and the betting moves. What did you think?
I thought on paper it does look like a two-horse race between number 7, Persistence, and number 8, Shesh. I see all the money has come for number 7, Persistence, because I just checked on all the card changes and the betting prior to us actually doing this. And Persistence has shortened all the way down to 12 to 10. Ron van Niekerk riding for Mike Stewart. 3 decent runs. He races from the front, so he'll be up there from the get-go. And I think there's a little bit more to come from him. Shesh, I think, will be the biggest danger. That winning margin of 6 1/4 lengths does look as if it was very impressive and favor the winner. But Shesh was a bit green. He was, however, running on, and I do think that we can expect a much better performance from him tomorrow. He is, of course, the brother to Valediction. So all in all, it is between Richard Fourie and Grant van Niekerk, who I think will fight out the finish. The one will go to the front and the other one will be coming from behind. So it's going to be interesting to see how the first race is going to unfold.
Right. Well, while you were chatting away, I've got the betting on there. That's confirmed thanks to soccershop.bet. Persistence into 13 to 10, Shesh 18 to 10, and they're betting 8 to 1 bar those. So Rouvaun's got that covered. Right, Rouvaun, let's scroll down, move straight on to, I can't scroll down. I've got to click number 2 here, race 2, 1340. While I click, let me multitask and tell you that there are 2 scratchings. So this race is cut up. There they are at the bottom, number 2, Comedy of Manners, and number 3, Curly Top. 2 and 3 are out, leaving us with just a field of 7 and an odds-on favourite. Is this another one for Fourie?
It possibly could be, but again, I've made it a race in 2, again, between Fourie and van Niekerk. Mercury Rising is obviously the standout bet, purely on that eye-catching debut run, where finishing 2nd and was coming with a very late effort. So the natural improvement is to be expected. Assisted to Veronica Mars, so she does look like she's got the class. She's shortened all the way down to 8 to 10. But I do think Nippy Winter is not without a chance. Now, if one looks at Nippy Winter's form, 3 runs, solid form, and that last start where she finished 2 lengths behind the winner, behind Mercury Rising on that occasion, and it does look like Mercury Rising has got Nippy Winter held, but she did lose 2 lengths on that occasion. So with her having lost 2 lengths, she could have finished a lot closer to Mercury Rising. And if she does jump on terms, she does handle Durbanville, then I think, and in fact, she has got the Durbanville experience already in a penultimate start. So I think we can expect much improvement to come from her as well. So Mercury Rising is the obvious first choice, and Nippy Winter to me is the biggest danger.
Okay, so pretty straightforward. Here's our Vida Futura, who theoretically we should have owned if I hadn't have been a little bit under the weather in November. But Vida Futura has turned out to be a nice horse, which is kudos to me because I chose him at the sales, and hopefully he'll go 1 extra or 1 better tomorrow. He's drawn 3, which is a nice draw, and it's Nathan Fourie again. This race at this stage, there are no scratchings or changes, so nothing to report there. But it could be again a van Niekerk Fourie race, because the Snaith 2nd string, if it is the 2nd string, is Serious Business, who's a son of Vercingetorix, and that looks like a boat race.
That does look like a boat race on paper, but Vida Futura definitely is my first choice because of that 2 very good efforts to date. And if one looks at his form, he raced up handy last time out. He's having his 3rd career start. He's got that come-on look about him. He's got the racing experience under the belt. He's well drawn at 3. He's got everything going in his favor. So he does rate the one to beat. And as you quite rightly pointed out, his stable companion, number 8, Serious Business, is probably going to be the only danger that one can find in this race. He was slow away on debut. He raced green. He stayed on. And with a natural improvement that is bound to have brought him on with that run under the belt, he could be the danger. But Vida Futura, I think, looks like a banker on the day, with the stable companion, number 8, Serious Business, being the danger.
Okay, Vida Futura, nice horse, and he was a nice horse at the sales, which is why I tried to buy him. And subsequently tried to buy him as well, but the Mauritian owners, I think they're Mauritian who owned him, said no, they're going to keep all of him. Why wouldn't they? Because he looks like a nice horse. Let's move on to race 4, and this is a maiden juvenile plate for fillies, which pops up in race 4. Just the one change here. Number 6, Silver Slippers, has got earmuffs on, which is interesting, because if you are wearing a pair of silver slippers, make sure that your earmuffs are on, particularly in Joburg. It's pretty cold.
In winter.
In winter. Now, here, interestingly, number 4, Jet for Time, has eased out in the betting market a little bit. Opened up even money, gone 12 to 10. And money for, yes, you guessed it, Richard Ferree and Justin Snaith. Number 2, Call It Fate, who ran a nice debut, running on without troubling the judge, but probably more to come here. And then a little bit of sneaky support for the 9, Winter Scout. What did you think here, Rouvaun?
Winter Scout is who I think is the value horse in the race, particularly if one looks at his form. He showed good improvement in his last start, from first run to second run. He's having his 3rd career start. He's getting closer with each and every one. I think he certainly has the ability to go one better. However, Jet for Time also does sort of have the credentials of ending up in the winner's enclosure. He's another one that's got a common look about him, getting closer with each one. Greg Chien has certainly built up a very good relationship with him, finishing 3rd and 2nd in his last 2 starts. And I think that there's a little bit more to come from him. However, Call It Fate, I think I'm going to give him a bypass tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. She may be the sister to Keep the Faith, but she's coming back from quite a lengthy layoff. So she last ran in March, so that's about 10 weeks ago that we last saw her. So she was not disgraced on debut, but the fitness level is what probably is going to count against her, considering the other 2 has had 1 or 2 more runs than her under the belt. So to me, I'm going to stick with the number 4, Jet for Time, but more so with a value on number 9, Winter Scout, as my possible first choice in the race.
Okay, I'm going to quickly come out of there just to check we're recording, because last time we did this and I had the betting on, remember, we came to the end, we weren't recording it. I'm pleased to say we are, so let me go back to that.
We are. Yep.
All
systems go tonight.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to race 5. So this is 15:28 tomorrow, 28 minutes past 3. Scratched here is Ozbob, as you see at the bottom there, leaving us with a field of 7. And here we've got an odds-on favourite that has shortened, which is Silver Falcon, the son of Silvano, out of the trippy mare Lana Falcon, beautifully bred, and looks like the horse to beat for sure.
Undoubtedly so. Now, you can either look at this race as 8 Silver Falcon being your bank of the day, or you can try and beat Silver Falcon. So that's the way I think most people are probably going to look at this race. Silver Falcon does stand out as the horse to beat in this race. That was a very good debut. That was over 1,000 meters. Now going over 1,250 meters, and of course, being out of Lana Falcon will enjoy the extra. I think we can expect the natural improvement to come from that very good debut run, and does stand out again. Justin Ferree and Richard Ferree and Justin Snaith, the combination that stands out on the card. If you are looking to beat number 8 Silver Falcon, then obviously you're going to have to include the likes of number 6 55er, who's had 2 good runs to date. Sandile Mbele takes the ride. Only thing that counts against 55er is the draw of 8, but I think there is more to come. And our favorite, Mr. Frosty. I mean, he's had plenty of runs. This happens to be Devon Ashby's only ride for the day. Jumps from stall gate 2, was very disappointing last time out. If you look in the betting column, you'll see he was very short for the betting last time out when he disappointed. He does make his course debut, and if he does handle this track, I think we could be hard to peg back, because he will be up there from the word go. So Silver Falcon, either banker or look at possibly trying to beat Silver Falcon in order to get a result and make the exotic straight.
Okay, and let's move on to the next race with Adderbury Lake, the favourite here and overdue to win for sure. Will he get it right tomorrow? Because number 2, What's in a Dream, looks like his natural day or her natural danger, but she too likes the second box. She's had 3 seconds, a third and 2 fourths. So both of them have tended to be beaten before. I wonder if this is a possible upset race because those top 2 have had their chances. I'm just wondering.
Neil, I'm not looking further than 1, 2, 3, the top 3 in the betting, and purely based on the fact that they renew rivalry on that Love Notes form line. Adderbury Lake finished 2nd, Respectable Miss finished 3rd, and What's in a Dream finished 4th on that occasion, and there was like a short head between the 3 of them, so there's precious little to choose between them. I think the reason why Adderbury Lake is top of the betting boards is the fact that I actually went to go and watch that race again, and for a long time she was held up and she was battling to get away, and eventually when she got going very late and was absolutely flying at the finish, and that's probably why she is sort of the first choice in terms of the betting market. Respectable Miss finished behind her, of course, and she will be up there from the word go. If you look at her form line, she likes to race up handy, so she might have it her own way. And depending on how the Durbanville track runs, she might be very hard to peg back in the closing stages. And of course, What's in a Dream is always there or thereabout if one looks at her form. So in terms of that last meeting where the 3 of them met each other, there is very little to choose between them. And I'm not going to take any chances, even though it does look like Adderbury Lake is the right one. I'm going to include all of 1, 2, and 3 in that race.
Okay, let's move on to our next race. By the way, there's a compression mask on number 3, Respectable Miss in race 6. That's the only change. Let's go to race 7 as we continue to record, which is good news. I'm reminding folks of an important scratching here. Number 5, Tallahassee, has been scratched. There was a 20% deduction with that, so it was obviously in the betting. Queen's Club is the favourite here. Now, this is the race where Rouvaun says you've got to go careful, and Queen's Club has eased from 12 to 10 to effectively 2 to 1. It's 19 to 10. Starboard also from 3 to 1 to 7 to 2, 33 to 10. Money for number 1, Alfred's Girl. But this does look like perhaps the race where the bomb might arrive.
In fact, I've actually marked 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 11 as the horses to all include. I mean, we've now gone banker in between, 2 horses, 2 horses, 2 horses. I think we can afford now to add a few horses in and hopefully even treble up as a result of the number of horses we are putting in. Alfred's Girl, I see, has attracted the market support. Very good last run. Likely to be up there from the word go. And we'll be staying on at the business end. Oswald Oates riding for the Michelle Ricks Howell Corporate Training Partnership. A model of consistency, and you can never leave her out. A Shreedy I found was number 2, Larentina. Now, it was a very flat last run if one look at the form. But if one looks at the Durbanville form, and her penultimate one was at Durbanville, where she finished 3rd, both her wins to date has come at this course. So she is one of what one can probably call a Durbanville specialist. And based on the strength of her penultimate run, I think at 10 to 1, she does represent a bit of value in terms of probably making the frame. Andre Nell's only runner is number 3, Starboard. Grant van Niekerk again, he jumps from barrier position 2. Solid recent form, despite the fact that she does look held by number 8, Queen's Club. And speaking of Queen's Club, she's obviously the horse that everyone thinks is the one to beat, based on the fact that she's got the form again, Richard Free and Justin Snape. I think she was very unlucky last time out not to have probably won that last race, and she does meet a similar type of field this time round. Once again, she should be very, very competitive. She got going very late last time out. She came from just off them, and she was absolutely flying at them in the finish. And a repeat of that run, obviously, is going to make her very competitive. River Cafe, if one look at River Cafe, another horse that's very long in the betting, is actually weighted to finish much closer to number 8, Queen's Club, because on that last run, Queen's Club carried 55.5, tomorrow carrying 56.5. River Club that day carried 60, now carrying 56. So with the weight turnaround, there's a case to be made for River Cafe as well. And of course, Golden Dar is another one that cannot be ignored, except for the fact that Golden Dart does have a wide barrier berth of 11 to overcome. And if one sort of looks at the corresponding form lines, she did finish a half a length behind number 1, Alfred's Girl, who is fancied on this occasion. I think there's a case to be made for her. She's not without a chance. She was also running on very nicely last time out in that race behind Miss Millstream, which was also a blanket finish. So another one that cannot be left out. So because it's a fillies and mares handicap, a case can be made for a number of them. I'm not taking any chances. I'm including all of 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 11, because I think we can afford to go wide here.
Yeah, I mean, in my jackpot and my pick 6, you got no objection if I go field, do you?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Rocket Girl could even come and spook us because she also loves Durbanville.
Yeah. No, I'm going field there. Race 8 is the last race. Let's quickly move on to that one, and I'll tell you if there are any changes. Yes, number 8, Ideal Image, and number 6, Fly to Rio, a scratch. So if I go down a bit, you'll see those 2 scratchings there. Number 6, Fly to Rio, number 8, Ideal Image are out. Paves the way, perhaps, for Richard Fourie and Justin Snaith again. This time on Zambak, a daughter of Rafif.
At the rate we're going, I think the fact that we are sort of leaning towards the Justin Snaith, Richard Fourie combination, I think this is probably could be winner number 5 or 6 on the day if all goes according to plan. Good improvement from run 1 to run 2, having 3rd career start. Was 3rd over the course and distance last time out. Has got everything going in her favor. She's sister to Trip to Africa. She certainly looks to be on the up. I think there's more to come, and she does look like the horse to beat. Khalikya Baby, number 1, also has that come on look, and has certainly been coming on very well since being fitted with blinkers in the last 2 starts. The blinkers are on again. And as a result of the blinkers, Khalikya Baby has been racing from up there from the get-go. So Khalikya Baby will be in front, and it's a case of come and catch me if you can, I think, depending on, of course, how the Durbanville track is going to run tomorrow, because I see today it was posted that the game could be good to soft. That form line has been franked, her last start. The 5th place horse, Quick Breeze, has come out and franked that form, so she's got quite a bit going in her favor, and she is probably the biggest danger to number 11, Zambak. And then the other horse that I found that I thought cannot be left out is number 4, Princess of Winter. Another one that enjoys running up there from the word go. She's in good form, and she'll probably be staying on with Keegan DeMello riding for Greg Enion, and that represents quite a bit of value. I think it's at 8 to 1. And the reason why I like it, it jumps from Stallgate 2, so it will be there for nothing from the word go. So another one that will probably be up there, and a case of come and catch me if you can. So it's either a case of Snaith Fourie again in the last of the afternoon, or in my case, I'm going to include all of 11, 1, and 4.
11, 1, and 4 for Rouvaun in the last. Yeah, it's as always with every race meeting, is how you structure it. But
yes,
there'll be a lot of punters who are going to build their day on Richard Fourie and Justin Snaith cover the field. Richard Fourie, Justin Snaith cover the field. And if you can get 4 or 5 of those in the PA, or 4 of them in the pick 6 and cover the field, maybe you'll pick up the spook somewhere along the line, and it'll fall nicely for you. It looks like that kind of race meeting.
It does. And, you know, the first couple of races, I think the first 2 or 3 races on the card, it does look like Richard Fourie, Grant van Niekerk, that holds the key and the aces in terms of who's going to finish ahead of who in those opening races on the day. But other than that, you know, we're back at Durbanville. We haven't been there in a while. And normally the Durbanville form does tend to hold up. So, and Justin normally does exceptionally well when he sends horses to Durbanville, because 90% of them actually go and have their gallops there. In fact, I see that on the Cape Racing YouTube channel, you can actually go and watch the gallops that happen there on a Thursday morning. And they kindly record those gallops, and you can actually watch them to actually see the well-being of the runners. So that's another innovation that's been brought forward by Cape Racing, which is actually very nice, because now you can actually see the well-being of the horses prior to them actually stepping onto the track and being competitive in the races.
Yeah, Cape Racing leading the way. Well done to them. They've had a lot of innovations during their summer season, and they continue to churn them out. And I'm sure 4 Racing up here in Johannesburg are taking note. They've already shown themselves keen to improve. So well done to Cape Racing, because they're are certainly blazing a trail down there. Rouvaun, thanks very much. I know you're not on duty tomorrow, so we'll miss your wonderful tones, but you're going to be back in duty next week, eh?
On Monday, when we next race, that's when I'm back in the hot seat. So I'm looking forward to coming back. It's been a while. I think it's been about 4 meetings that has gone by. Tomorrow will be meeting number 5 since I've last been in the hot seat. And I am actually looking forward to getting back to calling a few races again.
You're right. Well, Rouvaun, thanks very much for your time. We'll watch how we go tomorrow, but it looks like a snaith day, that's for sure. Thanks for joining me.